Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. We at Mongo Capital, it's where we have various discussions on various topics, and in our financial markets, actually in the whole of East Africa, where is our main focus. And today we want to discuss affordable and flexible insurance solutions. In Kenya, as in many parts of the world, the insurance sector is fundamentally a provider of financial security and stability to individuals and businesses alike. And so today we are having with us AAR Insurance, whose mission is actually reinventing insurance through innovative, affordable, and sustainable solutions. Our able speakers from the AAR Insurance, I'll just let them introduce themselves and tell us what is their role at AAR Insurance. We can start with you, Justin.
All right. So greetings, everyone. My name is Justin Kosgei. I'm the CEO for AAR Insurance, where we cover Kenya and East Africa. We're excited to be here today to talk about affordable and flexible insurance solutions. AAR Insurance is the leading health insurance provider in Kenya and East Africa, where we provide solutions from large corporates to small businesses and also for families. And further, we also provide general insurance beyond health insurance solutions. We are part of a wider group of organizations. We do the health insurance bit, but we also have an association with our sister companies, AAR Healthcare, which is a couple of clinics, close to 40, spread across Kenya and others in Uganda and Tanzania, and again East Africa, and also an hospital in Kiamburu. And we provide our solutions a lot through technology. So we've been here for 40 years, covered a lot of clients over that period, and we are synonymous a lot with healthcare provision. And we are happy to be here today to discuss health insurance, not just health insurance, but generally flexible insurance solutions that we can provide as insurance industry and also as AAR Insurance to businesses and families. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin. I'm sure we all are eager to hear about AR insurance. Many people maybe think we offer only health solutions, but we are eager to learn more about whatever that AR insurance offer. Over to you, James Kamau. You can just introduce yourself to us and tell us what is your role at AR Insurance.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having AAR Insurance. This Mwango Capital Spaces. My name is James Kamau. I serve at AAR as the group head of distribution. My role involves working with insurance distributors just to make sure that our products, our services are accessible through various channels. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess, for that introduction. Justin, you told us you've been here for at least 40 years. You can just give us a brief history of AR, how you started and up to where you are at the moment.
Thank you, Rina. AAR Insurance, as I mentioned, started 40 years ago, 1984. In fact, we're celebrating our 40th birthday soon in October. We have a couple of events in store for customers and our partners and our prospective clients. AAR Insurance started that time as an air ambulance. So A stood for Africa Air Rescue. So it used to provide rescue services to clients across East Africa, where as an air ambulance provider, it ensures that if someone requires emergency evacuation from wherever in East Africa, then AAR would come in and enable that and secure that client and make sure that they get to the nearest healthcare provider. It grew from there with the need that clients, of course, indicated that then they required not just evacuation, but also they required to be covered. Because once you get to the hospital, you require some funds to take care of you as a patient. Then AAR Insurance then grew to become an HMO. HMO is something closer to an health insurance provider, but then it was called a health management organization, where you provide insurance on top of the facilities that you have. So AAR had clinics, which it was running. And with that, it was possible then to provide sort of insurance to clients, but now only using our facilities. It grew from there. And in about 20 years back, it became a fully fledged insurance company, where then clients would visit not just our facilities, but also other providers, all the other hospitals in Kenya and East Africa. And in Kenya alone, then we opened our panel to about 1,400 hospitals and clinics that we partner with and doctors, and then expanded our client base. Now we cover close to just over 200,000 members in Kenya and close to 100,000 in Uganda and East Africa generally. So then that meant that the insurance services expanded to not just medical, to other general insurance products covering property, covering businesses, covering individuals against other liabilities that may arise, such as personal accidents, public liability, and other general insurance classes. In 2012, thereabout, the company having grown and having become expanded separately. So we had our clinics run separately. And then we have also the hospital, which also started about 4 years ago, a premium level hospital that is based in Kiambu. And then our president came and opened it in 2023. So that's the history we are. Now, within the fold of the group also invested in other facilities. We have within our group other hospitals such as Nakasero and Kambala Hospital in Uganda, the premium hospitals in Uganda. And we continue then to see which other markets we'd like to play in, providing not just health insurance, but ensuring that we play a big part in the health and insurance ecosystem, as well as ensuring that we protect not just the health, but also the assets of our clients and the wealth that they have accumulated and grown over time.
Awesome. James Kamau, as the head of distribution at AAR, let's talk about a little bit of the macros before we get deeper into AAR itself. According to Kenya National Bureau of Statistics 2023 Economic Survey, we still have low penetration of insurance in Kenya. It's at 2.3%. That is according to KNBS 2023 Economic Survey. Compared to South Africa, which is at 10%, what do you think are some of the significant barriers of insurance access among Kenyans?
Yes, indeed, the insurance penetration in our country has been quite low over the years. In fact, that number, 2.5%, has been there for quite some time. And there are very many reasons. There are quite a number of barriers that make insurance not be accessible amongst Kenyans. One of them is affordability. For a fact, insurance is expensive compared to some of the other priorities in a household. And besides even the amount of premium that is paid, people also prefer to have some certain payment plans, which sometimes are not always available. For example, someone may want to pay in installments, and the insurer may only allow this number of installments, while the law itself talks about insurance must be paid in cash before the service is delivered. The other barrier to insurance would be probably the product designs. Maybe they're a bit complicated for the ordinary person to understand. And the other would be probably trust, the history of insurance, people wondering whether the promise will be kept, going maybe by one or two instances that people may have had an unpleasant experience. The other is the social setups. We sometimes tend to rely very much on coming together, harambes, and that kind of gives us comfort that in the event of something happen, we'll rally together and support each other, and in that way provide some social insurance of some sort. So I would say that generally these are the significant barriers. And we are working slowly by slowly to make sure that some of them are overcome.
And still on that, yes, would you say that especially on the social setups, does it fall under cultural perception, or is a different thing on about penetration of insurance?
Actually, that's a very interesting question. Being a salesman myself, I've come across various answers as I propose insurance solutions to people. There are those religious perceptions that people have. Some will tell you that through their belief, they know they will not fall sick. Others use traditional methods or practices. So there are those cultural perceptions. They exist. And sometimes they're quite a big barrier to uptake of insurance. I did mention earlier the perception around coming together, which is so African, that whenever something happens, if somebody passes on, somebody is sick, if somebody's business has gone through some peril, we always come together and underwrite, so to speak, that risk. So that tends to give us some sense of security that all is well, and we are going to take care of those risks when they occur.
Okay, thank you so much, James. Now over to you, Justin. Like you said, the biggest population right now are the young people, and also the older generation is embracing digitalization. And one of the primary benefits of embracing digitalization is the potential to reach previously underserved or untapped markets. In this time that you've served in the insurance sector, what do you think the lack of digital infrastructure has played in limiting the affordability of insurance solutions?
That's a very important question. I think one, because a lot of services, not just insurance, are now available digitally and online. And most of the time, there are services that are digital are much cheaper because of the low cost of administration and managing the site services, because you can do self-service and you can learn about the solution or the service online. So that means in areas where people have limited access to such things like smartphones or internet access, or the level of digital literacy is low, then accessing these services is affected. So it means then, especially in remote areas or even in rural areas and even in urban areas, as the level of smartphone usage, for example, it's high in Kenya compared to other countries, but also it's not where it's supposed to be. I think about half of the people have smartphones. So meaning even then, there's still the issue of access to the internet, access to the right platform. And this hinders a lot. Just even having the access to a platform that can help you understand whether there's some sort of insurance that you can get to solve a problem. So that's the main area. There's a lot of infrastructure issues whereby the internet access across the whole country is not 100%. So meaning even when we develop innovative solutions, which are low cost to cover, for example, we want to cover farmers for their livestock, for their crops against maybe droughts, they might not be aware about these solutions because in case they're not online. And then even if they do then access them, all the information might not be available to be able to make a wise choice or a wise decision. So these are the things that we look at. But what we do try as much to partner with organizations and communities on the ground, even where these digital solutions can be administered within the groups so that individuals and business owners can be able to enroll or get serviced from a certain point. For example, in health insurance, even in remote areas where we have facilities, people can get access to healthcare at that point, even though within the area there might be a low penetration of digital access and smartphone usage. But within a facility, they can be able to be assisted either to get service or to get to know what solutions are there for them. But then it's not as optimal as we would have expected in an area or in regions where we have a high digital infrastructure and services. I think this is something that should improve as we continue to see high uptake of smartphone usage and internet access. And now we have so many digital solutions coming in. I think we've seen all the internet providers and organizations stepping up the game and competing to ensure that we have these solutions available.
And just to still with viewers here, when we talk about innovative options that are available, we may not be able to have internet provision all over the country equally anytime soon. Maybe not. But in terms of this innovative financing option, people who have no access to or are able to afford their smartphones and they just have these, we call it kabambe phones. What innovative solutions that I have that maybe we can see these people in the rural areas or in setup where they can only have access to this kabambe phone? Do you have any innovative solutions that they can be able to access maybe a USSD and they're able to access these products?
Yes, we have those solutions. We have one very prominent product that we launched just less than a year ago. It's quite popular. We call it ShwAARi because of what you've mentioned about the options. So first, we believe that innovation is just beyond digital. It's also just the way also we organize and reach our clients. But for the specific case of using what we call feature phones or kabambe, we have these products that are available by dialing a USSD. And once you dial the USSD, you can be able to enroll. So that means we're able to provide the product to anyone who has a mobile phone. Additionally, the rules of such products, especially this product, is such that clients can pay in installments. That means that there are options to pay monthly. And the rules are so simple such that we do not have limits and other sub-limits within the limits. Whenever you buy as a limit, say 500,000, it caters for everything, whether inpatient, outpatient, dental, and other services, so that then it makes it easier for a client to purchase a certain cover without having to remember what are the details, what are the options. And then the age limit is up to 100 years because we have to have a age limit. So that's almost unlimited in terms of age. And we've seen a lot of our clients buying for their parents, buying for their uncles, buying for their aunties and other relatives that they think deserve because the product is quite affordable. The facilities that are accepting the product are spread across the country. So we've simplified the product so that it's easy to buy online and then it's easy to understand and it's available even physically if we in some groups, such as if we have partnered with a lot of circles. So members within a circle can buy it, members within a community-based organization can buy it, and we have made it easy for groups to co-brand. They can brand the product to their liking, and then behind we're able to just ensure that we manage it efficiently through technology. We use our technology. There's no need to print cards. Clients can identify themselves using their mobile phones, and then the systems can capture the biometrics when they get to the hospital. So we've seen that it's possible to innovate within that space. And other products, actually, even accident covers, which are quite affordable, they are available on the USSD. And we've seen that with awareness and reaching the communities and people through organizations that they understand, we're able to make it available. So these products are there. And with research and innovation, we believe that we'll keep failing so that potential clients can be able to experience them and test them even for a short period of time and experience the benefits that insurance can bring in protecting their health and wealth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin. You actually talked about the ShwAARi product. We want to hear more about, and you That's quite a number of aspects about that product and how you actually innovated it. I think we'll come to it again. But right now, just to learn something about affordability. You actually mentioned affordability being one of the significant barriers to access to insurance products. But then we know by getting insurance, we buy them and pay premiums for these insurance products. And it is found actually that most premiums are actually expensive, especially to the low income people and the people who are vulnerable to access to financial facilities. So how does high premiums and lack of transparency in the pricing models of these products contribute to the low insurance penetration?
High premiums actually are deterrent to accessing insurance. And from a consumer point of view, of course, one looks at what value they're going to derive from the amount that they spend. But besides just talking about the high premiums, I think it's important to understand where insurance comes from in terms of pricing the products. And let me focus a little on medical insurance. We are part of a wider ecosystem and our premiums are affected by various factors. If you look at the costs that come from the hospitals, they are driven by many things. One, the cost of drugs, perhaps, where a lot of the drugs that we consume as a country are imported, and we are therefore they are talking about the exchange rate. So whenever there are fluctuations, of course, they will always impact the price of buying insurance. We also have inflation. We are also affected by interest rates. And I think what is currently very important is now what we are doing to ensure that we provide insurance at an affordable rate. So one of the things that we are trying to do is introducing telemedicine. Telemedicine ensures that you can be able to do your consultations without necessarily visiting the hospital. And what that does is that it dramatically brings down the cost of, say, outpatient, because, of course, even from a personal point of view, you're not incurring any transport costs going to the hospital and what have you. The system is such that even samples can be collected from where you are. Yes, there is that issue of high premiums, but we are also trying to be innovative to bring it down by offering these unique kind of solutions, such as telemedicine.
Thank you, James, for that. And so we have this population of women and young people who have challenges in accessing insurance products. The mortality is still high in women who are pregnant and giving birth to children. And most of them lack the affordability to be able to get the car that they can be able to pay when they're undergoing childbirth. And also we have the youth who are mostly unemployed, a big chunk of them. They're getting into jobs that are not paying them well, probably. And so they have quite a number of challenges in accessing and affording these insurance products. How then are these challenges addressed to women who are not able to afford insurance products and the youth who are not able to afford insurance products if they need these covers? How are we addressing that as AAR?
At AAR, we have taken ESG very seriously, and the issue of inclusivity is very high on our agenda. We are actually a UN Global Compact certified, and that only demonstrates how high we hold the issue of inclusivity. Coming to the very specific needs of the women, they have very unique needs and very unique challenges. Some of them include the various cancers, cervical, breast cancer, and maternity cases, and other very unique challenges that confront the women. What we are doing is now customizing all these challenges into our products. So we have products that cover these cancers. We have products that have no waiting period on maternity. So on purchase, you can actually be able to be covered for some of these things immediately. So all in all, what we are trying to do for the ladies in terms of product design is to actually shorten the waiting periods, maybe remove them from 1 year to just a few months, because it's also necessary that we build a fund to be able to pay the claims. But all in all, in terms of product design, there's quite a bit of development there from the app front. We also note that there's also the challenge of awareness. And what we are doing is partnering various organizations to be able to reach the rural folk, especially the rural women. We do realize that whenever we communicate with women, the message is more sound and there's more impact and there's a lot of action that is taken there. In terms of marketing, partnering with various organizations, we have projects that we are carrying out in places like Western Kenya, in the Coast Province. We actually been using a lot of the youth in terms of bringing them to be able to be the ones who are advocating for the uptake of insurance through this digitization. We have a platform that we have developed for especially the digital survey, the youth, that they can be able to orientate themselves with matters, insurance, and even make a living. We note that for the youth, it's more about education and awareness, because those ones who are in employment, there's a matter there about prioritizing of incomes. For those ones who are not working, we create the opportunities, come and work with us. Of course, there's a training program that one would need to undergo, because there are matters of regulation. So you need to go through a course called Certificate of Proficiency, which takes about 2 weeks or 3 months, depending on what you choose. So intentionally, we have been able to sit down and look at the needs of the ladies. And we have also created opportunities and a lot of awareness on insurance to the youth.
Thank you so much, James, for highlighting all that. And either you or Justin can take up this one. Maybe you can tell us just one or two, other than ShwAARi, which we'll cover a bit later. What are some of these products that you have? You can also touch on the payment plans. Do you have payment plans that are monthly?
I think I'll take that. Thank you. But before, I just want to reiterate or add to what James has talked about in terms of our pricing and also the issue of youth and women. When it comes to premiums, one of the things we have done is for our clients, we make it simpler. We break down our premiums, especially when you've been with us for a certain time. So whenever we're renewing, we show our clients what we spend on claims and the fees that goes into running the policies, then what we're charging for the coming period. We have actual experts, pricing experts within our business. We call them the actuaries, and then they're able to provide that information. So it creates a lot of transparency and awareness, and then it helps to make clients understand then how these costs come about. And with that, we eventually ensure that we achieve lower cost of premiums by educating our members on how to utilize their covers, if it's health insurance, it's business insurance, how to mitigate risks. If you've insured your building and your business, what are the risk control measures to ensure that you don't have a fire in your building or you don't have burglary, theft, and things like that. So it's something that we think that transparency is very important between an insurance company and its client. The issue of women and youth and women, based on research, there's a lot of tailoring of products that we have done. And some of the nitty-gritty, some of the details that we've seen is we've even standard products to ensure that it remembers to capture what is very unique to youth and women. For example, wellness in health insurance is very important for catching certain diseases such as breast cancer or ovarian cancer or things that are unique to women, or even for men, prostate cancer. We have this as standard in all our products, something that we've about 2 years back, we decided that all our products must have a wellness checkup solution. And then as we tailor also for affordability, we decide to have a panel that, for example, that's affordable for health, that speaks to the needs. We decide, for example, to have certain providers that enable us to achieve that cost. If it's mission-based hospitals and clinics or partnership with government, to have certain providers give us services that we can then transfer that benefit to our clients, to the youth, so that they can afford. Then we develop solutions that even universities can take, such as internship covers. And this ensures that we introduce the youth to insurance, and we can, through education and forums, we have webinars sometimes and forums on the ground to educate them. And finally, just ensuring that we partner with the right groups, women groups, chamas, and things like that to avail these solutions. And those partnerships, we have a partnership team actually in our business that goes around to focus on those unique groups and channels to ensure that our products reach and are available, and inclusivity, in terms of inclusivity, in line now with our ESG and ESG goal, to ensure that we have diversity and inclusion, not just in our staff, but also in meeting the needs of our clients. Now, of premiums, whether we have installment options, we have two ways. We have options where you can get direct financing from the banks. We have partnered with a lot of banks to provide services. So that, especially for businesses prefer to either pay to us in installments, where we agree and we give them an option to pay their premiums on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, or they can apply for insurance premium financing with partner banks. For families and individuals, we have the same. However, it's much easier for individuals because we have, including the USD, where you can pay monthly using your M-Pesa, and that enables, like the product that we talked about, ShwAARi, the personal accident products, or even other family products. We have a recent product that we have launched about 2 months ago for older people. We call it AAR, our seniors product. And people can apply to pay monthly or to use the premium financing from the banks. So there's that flexibility, which we believe is very important to enable clients to pay for their premiums in a manner that matches with their income, because income also comes periodically, and it's good to match these expenses and income. That also includes your insurance. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. And still on premium finance, what is the eligibility of someone getting financing with the banks that you personally? Is it the eligibility, is it determined by AAR, or is it determined by by the bank?
It's both ways, but also we have more weight because we provide some sort of guarantee. We also support in guaranteeing the client because of the insurance relationship that we have. So we try and make it simpler for the client by being in that process.
Right. Thank you.
When looking for IPF solutions from the bank, normally we have some of our customers encountering the bad CRB. So what happens is that there's another organization that has another way of looking at assessing that risk of credit. So they don't really require the CRB. And I think that's a very important point to know.
Yes, that is a very important thing to note, because anyone who thinks to go for a facility from the bank, they will always think of having been listed at CRB. Now, we've talked about partnerships with different organizations in terms of micro groups of women and groups of people, and also in terms of innovation. So maybe for you, James, you can just tell us a bit about the microinsurance bit. We've seen that in the past 8 years, according to Association of Kenya Insurance, that there have been an increase in microinsurance products. As AAR, do you have some of the microinsurance products? And first of all, maybe you can just define to us, when we are talking about microinsurance, what does it really mean? Maybe just define to us what is microinsurance, that AAR have these microinsurance products and solutions, and how do you leverage groups through the uptake of insurance through microinsurance products?
Okay, we have microinsurance products, and we are quite big in that space because we partner with very organizations across the country who are in need of microinsurance. Microinsurance actually looks at premiums which are not very high. It could roughly be 50 shillings or so every day as an expenditure, which comes to about 1,500 to 2,000 shillings every month, and then having the commensurate benefits, including which hospitals to access, not the very high cost ones, so that we can also make it affordable. But what we normally do is work with, especially SACCOs. We have partnered with very many SACCOs across the country, and the SACCOs give us exposure now to their memberships, where we are able to join them in education days and articulate the issue of insurance. We tell the people the benefits, and they are able to come on board, and then we stagger the payments. And here comes the interesting thing about partnering with the SACCOs. How the SACCOs are able to pay us in full as they collect the premiums in installments from the members. As but SACCO interest is a bit low, so the premium becomes more affordable at that local area. So we customize education to those people. We have even had to use vernacular language whenever we go down to the SACCOs, especially in rural Kenya. So we use a language that they can easily understand. And in that way, we're able to create awareness. We're able to sign them up for insurance. And ultimately, we're able to uplift their standard of living by ensuring that they access quality and affordable healthcare. So we sit down and custom write the solutions that the SACCOs might be interested in. So we don't load them over and give them a product which is off the shelf. We sit down and negotiate with them something that is very affordable to their membership. And the products are very simplified. Sometimes we even use, depending on the need, one proposal form to cover a whole group. So we really don't need to go into filling individual forms. You just fill one proposal form, and that's enough for the group. We also look at risk differently in those situations. There are places where you don't need to tell people to exercise. In rural Kenya, people are always working, they are healthy, and their challenges could be a little bit different. In fact, their risk could be more so on the accident side rather than on the illness on occasion. For microinsurer, we have the available product. We have the distribution channels in place, the pricing, there's a way we go about it, and it is suitable, and we use partners. We also use aggregators who are able to bring individuals and groups together, negotiate on their behalf. Some of them even pay in advance, and then the members pay slowly. There's an interesting group that, of course, is very important to us, and this is the group of intermediaries. Intermediaries, we partner with them a lot, and they're quite a number. For example, we have in our books, we have almost 2,000 agents that we deal with. So we run a loyalty program, and it is interesting to see that some of the agents are now even paying their premium using the proceeds from the loyalty program. So for microinsurance, I think that's what I can be able to say for now.
Thank you so much, James. I think there's so much information about microinsurance that many may not be aware of, and I guess getting more and more awareness is important in that aspect. Still a question on microinsurance. Someone having or accessing insurance through microinsurance product, do they get the same benefit as someone who gets it in the normal standard way, not a microinsurance product? Because this is a cheaper and affordable way of getting the products to people. Do they get the same benefits?
Like I said, there's a lot of negotiation that was on, and the numbers are very important. There's a very big difference between a group that comes and says, we are 1,000, vis-a-vis an individual. So that group can be able to be assessed very differently in terms of the risk. So aggregate are very important, these things that we are mentioning, because they really focus on the micro solutions. They're able now to mobilize the numbers, and numbers give the advantage of benefits and even price. They are able to negotiate so that the people who join the aggregators and the fintechs are able to enjoy even better premiums. They even have the aspect of service, which is very important. So they are able to follow up on things like claims processing. There's a lot of innovation that takes place. And again, for the circles, there's a lot of lending. There's credit that is accessible to be able to purchase this insurance.
Allow me to add something on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think just to reiterate what James has said, micro, I think is maybe could be an insurance jargon. What it usually means is budget product. So meaning that it's not as comprehensive as other solutions, but you get almost similar service. So I'll give an example. So we have solutions, for example, for let's say for health insurance, you can have micro insurance of 1 million shillings cover and a different comprehensive product of the same 1 million shillings. However, when you go to the service provider, you might find that just like an airline, you will not get certain services for the 1 million. We might say that for that, as an individual, you will pay very low premium, maybe a third or 20% of what a person would pay for a comprehensive cover. But then you will still get the same services, but maybe you'll have to go, say, to a certain type of hospital that is able to provide that service, unlike the other one where you can go to any hospital that you would prefer. So those are the small nitty-gritties. But in terms of coverage, you get exactly the level of care and the level of coverage that you would like. Same thing with properties. So for other businesses, then it's customized because the budget product might be fit for maybe smaller businesses. And then the others would be for bigger businesses such as big offices and machineries and assets like that. But then the other micro might be good for a group of businesses in one area. Say businesses that are in a group such as small businesses selling maybe say clothes or electronics. Then we can group them together and offer them a very affordable budget cover that ensures that in case of a certain risk that can affect all of them, it's easier to assess and make a payout. But then they can pay very small premiums compared to industrial complex that houses almost similar kind of assets but might be worth much more. So I'd say that it's relative, but yes, the level of coverage is still the same, but there are some nuances that make it affordable, and that's why it's budget. And in AAR, we have those solutions, both for individuals and for businesses. We negotiate, but for individuals, we have off-the-shelf products that we can share that people can just check on our website and pull it and look at those solutions.
And mentioning of businesses, I think we need to create more awareness to small businesses owners on the types of insurance products available and the importance of each of those products available so that they don't go to losses, especially, for example, when there's fire on their buildings. You've seen fires burning down small business. I think we need to create more awareness for small businesses insurance, and we'll touch on that a bit later on. But Justin, before we go and talk about the products for these small businesses and the ShwAARi product, we had talked about partnership. I'm still interested to know more about the partnership we had. We recently launched cloud structure in the move to become a fully digitized insurance company. Maybe you can just talk to us a little bit about that cloud infrastructure so that you get to understand how AR is going into being a fully digital insurance company.
Thank you, Rino. So in terms of digital investments, we have made significant investments to make sure that our business is fully digital. We are fully digital as an insurance company, and part of that required that we adopt efficient infrastructure such as cloud. And that means some of our core platforms reside in the cloud instead of having them within our servers in our premises. And this has enabled us to be more leaner and more efficient. Some of the platforms that are helping us to be ahead digitally includes, I'd say, a platform like MTBA, where our clients use this platform to access services from our providers, from our hospitals. As I mentioned, 100 of those hospitals are connected. And the biggest advantage for us is it makes us efficient. And when we're efficient means we don't use paper, we're paperless. Therefore, part of that, of course, improves the environment in terms of usage. But also, more importantly, is we do not have to spend a lot of money doing administrative work. But instead, our data in terms of claims is connected directly from the providers, from the hospitals and clinics to us directly. And these platforms, because of the advancement in technology using AI and machine learning, are able to help us process claims faster.
I think we could have lost him, but as he connects back, maybe James, we can just continue with you. Just touch a bit of ShwAARi product that's Justin had mentioned previously, but let's understand more about the ShwAARi product. When was it launched? It's a new additional portfolio. How is it unique compared to the products that you have? Why was ShwAARi launched? And what is unique about that particular product? But just tell us more about its features and the benefits of having it in your portfolio as AAR.
Okay. Well, the ShwAARi product was born out of a need to simplify access to medical insurance. We really wanted to make it simple for the simplest of people to buy medical insurance and enjoy it. We know that medical insurance brings dignity to a family. That aspect of worrying all the times about is quite frightening to many families. So the ShwAARi proposition was all about bringing that simplicity to medical insurance. And the product has very unique features. It is a very innovative product. It has what we call a one limit. Most, in fact, all health insurance products have an aspect of inpatient, outpatient, and then quite a number of sub-limits to address other concerns like dental, optical, maternity, and what have you, pre-existing conditions. And so what ShwAARi does is to create a solution that is one limit. It gives you a lot of empowerment because you are able to decide on the limit that you have bought. For example, if you buy a limit, a ShwAARi to 150,000, it is up to you to determine how well to use the cover. You can actually use it for outpatient when the need arises, or you can actually use it for inpatient should the need also arise. So it doesn't have any sub-limits on inpatient benefits. The ShwAARi cover very minimal waiting periods. Like I said before, waiting periods are some of the deterrents to accessing medical insurance. We also introduced flexible payments. So we have a very flexible payment plans. We also reduced the number of exclusions that are there. And we also added some aspect of wellness. So there's a very extensive wellness program within the ShwAARi program. And guess what? If you are 50 or more, then there's no waiting period at all. So it means that you purchase the cover today and on you go to accessing the medical cover. And you had earlier asked question USSD. So it's also available on the USSD. All you need to do is star 71 hash, and from there you can get the direction on what to do. So the ShwAARi product is extremely important in our portfolio. We are very grateful to the market for the uptake that we have seen. It's really contributed a lot to the growth that we continue to enjoy this year. So all in all, it's a plan that has been taken well by the population. If I can add, you can be able to buy 250,000 option. You can buy a 500,000 option, you can buy 750 all the way to $1 million. Of course, given the uniqueness of the product, we are also in the back end collecting data, seeing how we can be able to improve the proposition, seeing whether we can be able to have higher limits, and just seeing the feedback that we are getting, how we can be able to strengthen it so that it is a sustainable product.
Given the uniqueness of that product and the non-limit that it has, does it override the other products that AAR has, or does it make people leave the other products and come to ShwAARi products?
No, we haven't really encountered that challenge because the ShwAARi proposition was done after very extensive research. So we had a target market that we had in mind, and seems to be working very well. In fact, the lesson here is to always research very properly before launching a product.
We often have this cover on optical and dental limits. So the cover limits in optical and dental, they are very restrictive, and most of the time the cover gets depleted just after one visit when someone is using the cover that has that. So how they are addressing the cover limits of optical and dental covers?
Dental and optical is one of the things that we say are moral hazard because we really need to structure it very well. And what we have done under the ShwAARi proposition is that we have set aside dental and added them as a bonus benefits. So once you buy a ShwAARi proposition, you now get dental and optical as a bonus benefit. That could be up to about 20,000 for a dental or 20,000 for optical. So we are aware of the fact that dental is expensive, optical is expensive, and it's just good to have a certain balance between what the customer expects and what we are able to provide, other than having a product that is just going to be in the market for a short while. From our data analysis, the element of dental and optical, of course, we can be able to see how well we can be able to manage it.
Justin?
I was hearing you, but I wasn't able to speak, so apologies for that. I will just quickly revisit the question that I was just explaining before regarding adoption of cloud and digitization or digitalization in general. So because of time, I'll just summarize. Yes, towards last year, and this is a journey we've begun for about 3 years now to be in cloud to enable us to digitalize our processes even better. As a result of having our systems in the cloud, we are able to have platforms that provide services in a paperless and electronic manner. So we have our core platform that supports us, especially on claims. One area of this is our claims. That means that for our customers, we have used this to ensure that they can access services digitally. Using mobile, you can view your health insurance benefits. Using the mobile, you can go to the hospital and be identified. The biometrics, your fingerprints can be used to access your insurance cover, and then you can be given services. And then using the same platform, hospitals can submit their claims digitally because the platform connects the hospital systems to our systems. Therefore, we do not need human intervention or paperwork to do that. So the claims process is very efficient. And as a result of that, we then are able to pay claims faster, get better terms from our providers, which then we pass on to our clients in terms of affordable premium. Secondly, having our systems online on the cloud meant that on the sales front, we have platforms that enable our sales teams, our agents, brokers, generally all our intermediaries to sell services digitally. So we have a platform we call MyWakala, which James had briefly highlighted before, that enables our agents, close to 1,000 of them, to reach our clients smoothly and be able to onboard them or issue quotations from there and generate quotations, give options that the clients can look at what are the products available and they can be able to purchase them online digitally. So that has enabled us to have a smooth sales process for our clients, because then these services are available online. They can purchase our products also on our website, ranging from the health insurance that has been talked about, home insurance. And I think home insurance is one of the insurance products that many people seem not to really understand. As you mentioned, that a lot of education needs to go there for business as well. So for home insurance, we cover even phones within the contents of your home. Clients do not have to cover a building. If the building is not your building, you do not have to cover the building, but you can cover the contents in your house so that in case of theft, you're able to be refunded, or in case of fire or even floods, like we've seen recently, you're able to be refunded. And these are products that on average are very cheap, about 5,000 to 10,000 per year. So that's one of the products that is readily available online. Travel insurance, we have a very good travel insurance that we share a very good support from our clients, a big number of clients traveling and going with our travel. Finally, the cloud infrastructure has enabled us also to have other solutions. We have a mobile app as well that clients can use to check a lot of things, including where can you get an affordable provider if you're looking for a service, if it's an emergency evacuation, or if you want to look for a clinic nearby, that app can do. Overall, all the technological tools that we have converge because of the cloud infrastructure, and they're able then to ensure that you can access us from mobile USSD to online to our branches and our partners. Then it means then we are efficient and our staff are able to do much more with the technology and even work around the clock and from different places. I think we're one of the businesses I can say in the country that a majority of its staff can work from anywhere. They can work from home and or anytime able to help a client. And that's important for us that we continue to stand out in terms of customer experience. And we see that because of those touch points or digitally, we can be able to assess customer experience. How is our customer experience doing? And we can take any moment and review weekly and pass to improve our service experience consistently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin. You explained it quite well. And I think when it comes to these other products of insurance, the home insurance, business insurance, and travel insurance, we actually need to set up a totally different basis just to talk about the products one by one of our home insurance. When we say we can insure our home, can we insure, for example, if I have a Techno of 16,000 shillings, can I insure such a phone, or do we just insure the most expensive phone? Which are the things we need to insure in our homes when it comes to businesses? We've seen so many businesses going through a loss. I think this is an area that we just need to have a space and discuss what are the products of insurance when it comes to businesses, and also when it comes to travel insurance. Because of time, we cannot go into it so much, but we can create another space already for that. And maybe James can just tell us in terms of age limits. We've seen that people who are post-retirement, they have been unable to get some cover for themselves because of their age. They're out of the bracket in accessing some of their most important health covers. So age limits have hindered access to affordable insurance solutions. How is AAR actually ensuring that the people who are out of the bracket most of the time are included to double as well, not just a cover, but affordable cover for them?
Okay, thank you. But let me request that I make reference to the earlier point on travel insurance. Then I'll come to the age limit. Yesterday, we had the incident at our various airports. And today we have already seen a number of claims coming out from that. So I'm just emphasizing that it's good to take insurance. There are those clients that we cover who are already being compensated for the delays and the cancellations that they underwent yesterday. Now, coming to your question on age limits, we are very pleased as the AAR to have addressed this very critical issue. Remember the element of inclusivity. Our seniors are very important in our society, our parents and what have you. Them having a peace of mind is very critical. For many years, we have had products that have a cutoff when it comes to the upper age limit. We have recently introduced the seniors product that has an entry point of even at the age of 85. And that means basically that you have a cover for life. Once you purchase our seniors product, you can be able just to keep on renewing, and you'll never have to worry that you are closing in on a certain age. The ShwAARi product, it goes all the way up to 100. So you can see that we are quite inclusive as an organization.
Justin, can tell us just a little bit of what are some of your successful flexible insurance solutions as AAR implemented to increase the coverage, especially to the underserved areas? Most successful products.
I'll mention a few. One thing I think you've heard about most of the products that need to serve the underserved, because we are big in the conventional insurance covering corporates, and now a big thing that we've started seeing is covering SMEs. I think we've emerging as a leader in that space. Small and medium-sized enterprises, I think they have been forgotten for a long time. One of the things we've done is bring in solutions that combine a lot of insurance services in one. So we have health insurance as flagship product, and then we bring in other things like personal accident, because in these businesses you have about 3 or 5 employees, and we take those from 3 and above, we take them as a group, and we give them the same kind of folk attention, just the way we put the big corporate that has maybe 2,000 employees. And we've seen that we celebrate that as a big milestone, which we have done in the last 1.5 years or so. And we have seen that we now have thousands of SMEs in our book who are happy to know that they can access same level of attention, same level of care as a big corporate. Whenever they go to the hospital, they can get that attention. But over and above, these other services like personal accident for their employees, in case of accidents at work, which happen, bundling them with travel insurance, because there's SMEs, people, owners can travel often to bring goods from different parts of the world. People go to Turkey, I think, for Turkey, China, and other parts of Eastern Europe. So those are services we are happy about. We've gone now deeper, as highlighted with the ShwAARi product, that now we're able to provide affordable solutions that families can take. And one of the things about such product like ShwAARi is not one product generally. It has several subsets of products. If there are people in rural areas, they can take a certain subset of the product that is much cheaper and can enable them to have access to health services within that space. We have partnered with other fintechs. I'll mention a few. I think almost all the fintechs, we're open to partnering with all of them. But so far, we have partnered with people like Lami, MTech, and Chirako. Some of them, like Chirako, has given us a partner with us to access some farmers. And with other NGOs or community-based organizations, we've covered almost 40,000 people in the last 7 months. And that for us is big, because we're able to bring in simple solutions like hospital cash. Some clients might not need to have very complicated insurance solutions, but they want to ensure that in case they go to the hospital, they can go to a very affordable hospital and claim back their money. So we give them something we call hospital cash, where they just pay a small premium. And those 40,000 customers then have some sort of peace of mind. We've insured some of their assets within their businesses, and some are also keen on insuring their farming assets, crops, and livestock. And we're starting to think about how do we get into that space. So knowing that we've touched those thousands of clients, for us, it's very important. And that we do it seamlessly in partnership with people who understand those clients, those areas. It's very important for us. In other areas, again, as mentioned by James, is that we partnering with circles and chamas and even charges and customizing insurance solutions for them to cover themselves, even to cover their own loved ones in case of accidents, as is something that we're very proud of. Finally, I'd like to just highlight one more thing which we tested again with partnership with our MT providers, where we worked with transport sector circles to have an evacuation product because of the huge number of accidents that we have in the country. I think recently we've had a lot of accidents happening. Things that we noticed is that whenever accidents happen, there's a delay in getting emergency help. Normally, there's a lot of lives that can be saved within that time frame, within at the time an accident happens to the time that people get services, a delay. And with that partnership, we created a product we call King Avia, was such that whenever an accident happens, we just like Uber, we have a platform that connects all ambulances in the country, thousands of ambulances. And whenever an accident happens, they can be there in less than 5 minutes. And we saw a big number of, I think we covered over 400,000 tickets, and we saw lives saved. For us, the learnings were very valuable. The fact that with very low premiums, like 20 shillings per trip, 50 shillings per trip, but ensuring that we have an option for customers to protect themselves whenever they travel was a very important lesson for us. We had several evacuations, and we were lucky that a lot of lives were saved. And such innovations, such willingness to take risks as a company and as a business to research and provide solutions that people can see the immediate value. And it's informed us on what next we can do in terms of providing solutions that actually speak to the needs of customers. So we invest in development and partnerships because we can't do this on our own. And so that's the reason why we have even these spaces, so that we can spread the message that we value that partnership and willing to work closely with like-minded partners to increase insurance uptake. Because the 2% that we see is really low. It's something that we have to put our minds together and go beyond that.
That is quite interesting and very informative on the various products that are available for us that we may not be actually aware of. And James, before we close, you can perhaps just touch on the home insurance products. Are there bundled insurance that combine the home insurance with other types of coverage to provide more value? Because they will always look for that product that is giving them the maximum return. We have such products for which home insurance bundled with another cover will give them more value.
Yes, we have a wide range of products that the customers can derive a lot of value from. So we have products that will cover business, and these include the WIBA. And as WIBA is a very important cover in business, because should an employee get injured when they're doing work and they go to court, they can be awarded a very big award, so to speak, that can offset your business. So WIBA gives you that coverage that should somebody get injured at work, then the compensation is right there. Other covers that you might have, Justine really explained well about. Our SME bundles quite a number of benefits in it, including personal accident and travel insurance. Our home insurance also has quite a bit of benefits in it, because it will cover you for fire, it will cover you for theft, it will cover flooding. So there are quite a number of things that will be brought together in home insurance. What I would want to emphasize on home insurance is not for homeowners alone. Even tenants can be able to take home insurance and protect their valuables against the different perils that may visit them. These things are never foreseen, things like fire or flooding, and I think we have seen quite enough of both of them. So it's always good to protect our businesses. So the answer to your question is yes, we have a lot of solutions that we can be able to propose for any unique situation that a customer may have.
Thank you so much, James. I see our time is up. Maybe we can just give our parting shots to our audience. We can start with Justin. Give us a parting shot and some little advice in terms of taking insurance products, and how do you encourage people that it's important to take these products, whether it is medical, whether it is for our businesses or our homes, as we pass short. Then, James, you can do the same.
Okay. Can I ask James to go first?
Yes, James, you can give us a parting shot and a little advice on why it's important to seek these insurance products.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Justine. Insurance is a very important component in lives. Insurance ensures that we have dignity, that we can be able to enjoy good facilities, probably whenever we fall sick. It also ensures that we get compensated when there is a loss of a property or something. And I think it's the only way to go at the moment in order to increase the wealth in our country. Having said that, we have also tried our best to ensure that our solutions are very available across the country. So if you would like to access our insurance products, you can speak to your agent, and your agent will be able to negotiate on your behalf or provide you with that service of onboarding you and everything. You can also get us through broker. There are about 200 brokers, about 12,000 agents. Most banks today are selling insurance, and we have partnered with them. Some have very good products, and as banks do negotiate quite a bit, you may find a lot of flexibility there. Besides that, of course, they give you credit to pay for it. I had mentioned that there are also various aggregators. Justin did mention a number of them. And because many Kenyans come together, you can always visit your circle and ask whether they have access to our products, and a lot of them will be able to direct you to us. Other than that, you can visit our social media pages. You can visit our branch offices. We have a branch of Mombasa, Malindi, Meru, Nyeri, Thika, here in Nairobi, and coming soon, we are also opening up in the CBD. We have an office in Nakuru, in Eldoret, Kisumu, and Kakamega. Thank you very much. Been a pleasure being on this platform, and we really look forward to doing this again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. We really appreciate those insights you've given to us. Justin, you can just give us a parting shot as well before we close.
Thank you. I think mine will be short. James has covered everything. I'd just like to say that now insurance solutions are very many. AAR will continue to commit to innovate and provide solutions that are useful for both families and businesses. One thing that must be remembered is that a lot of families in our country are one disaster away from poverty, and one of the biggest disasters is usually sickness. And whenever that happens, a lot of assets is lost being sold to cover expenses. That's why we keep looking for better and cheaper options and affordable options, solutions that people can buy. And even businesses, if they get banned, flooded, or robbed, and now even political violences that we see. So we hope that with continuous innovation that we're committed to, we'll provide these solutions. We hope and we look forward to partnering with a lot of you and other businesses out there to make insurance understood and applied such that then lives and businesses can improve and can add a lot of value, as James mentioned, dignity, stability, and generally protect the health and wealth that people have spent a lot of time to build. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Justin, for that closing remarks. We appreciate you, Justin and James Kamau, for gracing our spaces today, talking about the quarters of insurance, right? We still have a low uptake, and we look forward to having more of this discussion on our spaces so that we discuss more about the products that AAR is actually offering. I think we have quite a lot to learn in terms of the products available in our markets. Thank you so much for coming to our spaces. That's it for today for everyone of us. Thank you so much and have a good night.